Alright, what's up fuckers? Today we're rating every single Remembrance boss in the Elden Ring DLC. We're gonna do from easiest to hardest, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up this and let's get right into it. Yeah. I count Bayle as one of the Remembrance bosses because it's fucking Bayle. You know what I mean? Romina is definitely the easiest boss in the DLC. I think she's actually easier than some of the like dungeon bosses that you have to beat, like the Death Knight. She's actually probably easier than the Death Knight. Her only good move is that like flower thing, but I mean it's so easy to dodge because she sends them out and then explodes them, and she's staggerable. She's very staggerable. So I mean, like, I had a big fat sword. I mean, she's gonna die no matter what. I first tried this boss, spent like maybe 2 minutes fighting her. Really, not that much. The move where she flies around in the air like that—that's her best move by far. But I mean, that was pretty much it. I remember I beat her the first try, and I actually had to go back and look at the footage to even like know her name because I was like, okay, that fight was very pretty, but I have no idea who that was. Like, I don't even remember her name. So she's definitely going in at, number 11 as the easiest boss. I remember watching a bunch of ranking videos myself, and everyone else put her here too, just because she's like, I mean, she's just that. She was just forgettable and pretty easy. So yeah, Romina, number 11. Coming in at number 10, we have this ugly fucking thing. This fight was pretty, man. I actually really enjoyed this fight. I mean, he has like the really, really like interesting move here you're seeing where he just floats up in the air and then shoots the laser beams. It's pretty like easy to figure out that it like just goes one direction. You just have to run. So I mean, I beat this boss on my third try. Really was not that hard. He really just has like very weird looking moves where he just kind of jumps around and slams his head on the ground, but they're very punishable is the thing. Like, once you realize like he only has a couple of moves and they're very punishable, like the rest was pretty easy. You just can't stay on the sides of him because he'll just like poke you with the fingers. He has very, very weird timing with his lasers though. That was kind of hard to adjust because he starts it and then he swipes it across your screen, so you kind of had to get that timing down. But besides that, there really wasn't too much to this boss. I beat it third try. It does have a lot of health, though, I will say. Like, getting in close and then having to hit him a bunch of times did, like, have kind of a learning curve to it. But again, it really wasn't that hard. Beat it third try. But I love the arena. The arena was very cool. If I was ranking this on fun, he'd probably be in the top 5 just off of looks and like the arena and the story behind it. But this is the easiest to hardest ranking, and I did not have really any problems with this one. I mean, he was pretty easy besides the little mobs that he spawned. So yeah, gotta put him in number 10 here. Coming in at number 9, we have Midra. And he's exactly that. He's kind of Midra. I only fought him 5 times. It only took me 5 tries to beat him. And I think that's because his attack pattern is actually like really, really recognizable. Like, you can get the hang of it very quickly. You can see in like the first like 15 seconds there, I already have him almost half HP, and that's because he does the exact same attack pattern in the first like 20 seconds the entire time. Like, it's not randomized. The biggest thing for him is you kind of just had to dodge into him like for all of his attacks because he has such a big weapon that like most of his attacks just miss, as you can see there if you're close. So this one only took me 5 tries, but I absolutely loved this boss. Like, everything about this, like for most of the other bosses, you feel like you get hit even when you shouldn't get hit, but this one seemed like just straight up the most fair fight. Like, if you dodge at the right time, he will not hit you. The only like hard thing about him is madness buildup. Like, there was a couple of times, I think 3 out of the 5, I died from madness just because like his ranged attacks are, they're not only long, but they build up madness so quickly that you don't even realize it. And then when you get hit by madness, it stun locks you, so he gets even more attacks out of it. But if he's just doing his regular like swing attacks, they're pretty easy. He has this one attack here where he sends fire after he hits, but as you can see here, it's not really that hard to dodge. Very easily staggerable, so this one only took me 5 attempts, and I'm gonna have to give him a pretty low ranking. But very cool boss, and I think they did a really good job on him, so, you know. Coming in at number 8, we have the Putrescent Knight. I actually really enjoyed this fight. I really liked the entire atmosphere, jumping down into it, and like the moveset wasn't that hard for me to grasp. Like you see the spinning move on screen now and the horse coming. That's really his like hardest move, but once you just figure out like that it's very easily punishable, besides there, because I just completely missed that. Sometimes you do just miss it, to be honest. That seems like the big theme of this fight is like even when you hit him, he does kind of just avoid it because his horse is pretty much the hitbox. Like him jumping onto it makes him avoid you. So that's kind of where the difficulty came in for here. I think I beat this on my 10th try, I believe, maybe a little less than that. But this boss wasn't that hard. The moveset was very, very easy to grasp. He doesn't have that many moves compared to all the other bosses. The hard part came in with catching him because he just kept trotting along, you see there. His swing attacks are very easy to dodge. I think the problem just came from the fire move where it starts back and then comes forward because you can't really see it approaching you. That was probably his hardest move there. Yeah, but that's basically it. There's not much to say about him. The fire is very easily avoidable. You just kind of have to jump over it and then avoid a couple of his moves and then catch him, jump attack him, do whatever you got to do. But his health is not very big either, so this one didn't take me that long to beat, and I actually really enjoyed this fight. It was one of the more fun ones, so Putrescent Knight gets number 8. Coming in at number 7, we have Rellana. Rellana is my personal favorite boss from the DLC. I love the look of her. I love her moves. I love like the moon thing she does here. That was sick. That was actually the only time that I ever dodged this move because I kept thinking that you had to like dodge it, but you just had to jump 3 times. Her combo strings are very satisfying to dodge, and like I don't know, I just love fighting her the entire time. But she ranks at number 7. She wasn't that hard once you figured out her moves. And again, it's another one of those bosses where you have to stay close to her. If you stay close to her and you dodge through her attacks instead of away, you'll beat her pretty quickly. Her timing was a little weird to get down, and then she had the, moon move that actually made it a little difficult, but most of her moves didn't really do that much. Kind of easily staggerable. I think I got a bunch of staggers from her, but yeah, not too hard, but definitely my number 1 favorite boss from the DLC, and she gets number 7 for that. Coming in at number 6, we have this absolute piece of shit boss. I can't tell you how mad I was when a third fucking sunflower popped out of the ground and I realized that I hadn't beat it on my second fucking like kill on this thing. I am just so happy that the damage is insane when you hit these things. Like they actually get destroyed. The moves are really, really annoying, honestly. I don't even remember that much of this fight because I've tried to erase it from my memory. 2 of these things was fine. You didn't have to add a third one. That's all I gotta say. Like he has the one move, I think it's coming up soon here, where he just kind of explodes. Yeah, this one. You're basically always gonna get hit by this because you have to get so close to attack it, but you really only get hit by one of it, and then he kind of slumps down. You can go absolutely punish it. This boss was only hard because you had to kill 3 of them. Besides that, it wasn't that bad. There was a move like the thorns he had where that was kind of annoying. Like you couldn't really dodge it pretty much. I always got hit by it, but I was really happy to kill this one because it took me a while to beat for no reason at all. So that one gets number 6. In at number 5, we have the Dancing Lion. Now, this boss was mainly really challenging for me because it was the first boss of the DLC. I was kind of still getting adjusted to, getting back into Elden Ring because I took a break and then, got back into it when the DLC was getting closer. The hardest part of this boss is the lightning stage. The frost stage and the tornado stage are pretty easy, especially the tornado stage, but the lightning stage is easily the hardest. You kind of just have to wait it out, like in order to get to the frost and tornado stage, because I got hit in that stage way more than like any other one. The snow stage was still kind of hard too because of the frost stomp, and then the tornado stage is where you're gonna get your most damage in. The lightning bolt attack where he kind of just shoots like a quick one at you, that was probably the hardest timing to get down. And then the one I got hit by the most was the little spin circle attack, because I like always lock onto them. I never really unlock, and doing that while he's just spinning around, it was pretty hard to dodge it. Yeah, but I pretty much just waited until he went back to his tornado stage, and then I did the most damage I could. Made sure he didn't get back into the lightning stage. I also did this without leveling up my Scadutree fragments at all, because I was trying to like, be good at the game. But right after this boss, I leveled them up immediately because I realized how big of a difference it actually makes. Like, I was not going to beat the rest of these bosses without it. I was really, really happy when I beat this boss, though, because it took me probably around like 2.5 hours to beat. I came back to it a bunch of times, and then at the end here, when he went back into his lightning stage, I was like freaking out, but I ended up getting the kill on him. It was a very, very good boss, though. I absolutely loved it. Coming in at number 4, we have Messmer. So I was actually going to put Messmer a little higher on the list because he actually didn't take me that long to beat at all. I would say I did it under the 2-hour mark. Like, I probably beat him faster than I beat the Dancing Lion. Messmer has a lot of moves that are just very easily punishable, besides the one you're seeing on screen now. That's like the only one I really got hit by, just because the like spacing was a little weird, and the one where the spears came out of the ground like that. But besides that, basically all of his moves in the second phase were very easily punishable. I got a lot of damage off on him. The first stage was also pretty easy because he starts off with that attack where he just goes right to you and then explodes. It's basically a free, like, jump attack, free charge attack. Most of his moves in the second attack with the snakes actually left him very vulnerable, so I personally did not have that hard of a time to beat him at all. I don't have a clip of actually beating him because the file corrupted, but this is the attack where I basically killed him. It just ends short. But yeah, very easy boss in my opinion. Compared to Radahn, this one took me basically no time at all. Very coordinated moves that you could probably, get the hold of pretty quickly if you're a Souls player. So he's going to go at number 4, but honestly, in my opinion, he wasn't that bad. Coming in at number 3, we have Commander Bitch. This boss honestly was not as hard as like I have it in my mind, just because I have like the same amount of hours on Commander Bitch that I have with Messmer. It was just because his moves are pretty broken. If you played the DLC, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The charge attack along with one of the other moves is like pretty impossible to dodge. You pretty much have to like jump in a certain direction to dodge it, but when I was fighting him, I didn't know that. He was hard for me because I'm a very get a hit off, run away, heal kind of player, and he does not let you do that at all. Every time I tried to heal, he would just use his long range attacks or charge at me, and this boss made me more mad than any boss in the DLC, even Radahn, to be honest. I don't know why I got so mad fighting this boss, probably because of the amount of time I spent on him. I spent the same time as Messmer, it was probably around 2 hours or less, I believe. No, it was definitely less than that, but it was just annoying because of the moves that you couldn't dodge no matter what. I mean, everyone's complained about it, so you basically know what it is, but after beating him, I was pretty happy, and really the hard part of him was the gravitational attacks like that, because you have to actually be close to hitting him, and that charge attack. This move right here where he's doing the spinning, that was actually not too bad. I got hit by it here, but I know the one before that, it allowed me to get an Ash of War off, which takes a lot of damage off of him. But he's just like unrelenting. Like, it was just really annoying because I know some of the attacks I shouldn't have gotten hit by, which everyone was annoyed with. But he goes in number 3 just based off of bullshit, so that's him. Okay, number 2 goes to Bayle the Dread. Now, Bayle is technically not a remembrance boss. You just get his heart from him, and it doesn't say remembrance. But in my opinion, he deserves to be a remembrance boss, just based off of him being Bayle. This one took me about like 3 hours to beat. I remember I started fighting him at 12 p.m. I got off around like 2:33 p.m., so maybe even longer than 3 hours. But I remember when I beat him, I was so happy because I was able to go to bed. This boss is hard as fuck, bro. I used no summons. I didn't summon the guy. I didn't summon, or, the main NPC. He's fucking sick. I'm going to my next playthrough, but I also didn't use the Dragon Slayer katana. I just used my greatsword here, which actually made it way harder because you can only get really one attack off on him before you have to run away, and then he just shoots fire down. That was my main cause of death. The other one was when he went in the sky and shot two beams. I couldn't really get the timing of the dodge down. Besides that, the moves were pretty readable in my opinion. Like the tail swipe here, that was my biggest like punishing move. When he did that, I was excited because I knew I was gonna get damage off on it. And then here, I got so lucky with the stun. I'm gonna show my reaction to me beating him here just because of how insane this boss is and how fucking amazing it was. But he definitely gets number 2. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my... Is he dead? What? Oh my god. I thought he was fucking dead. I thought he was fucking dead. Holy shit. Well, you knew which one was going to be number 1. This boss kicked my ass, bro. I fought Nameless King, I fought Metyr, I fought Gale, I fought fucking Orphan of Kos, I fought all the fucking DLC bosses, and none of them kicked my ass like this boss did. This boss took me a total of 5 hours, but let me break it down for you. I started fighting this boss around 12 p.m. one night, right? Did not beat him. I didn't beat him at all. I went to bed at like 3 a.m. I looked at my phone, I'm like, well, it's 3 a.m., I gotta get off. I didn't beat him. I was absolutely crushed. This is the first boss that I have never beaten, like, before getting off the game. I had to go to bed knowing that I didn't beat it. I thought I was actually just trash at Souls games after this. But I was so mad that I woke up. I didn't eat. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't do anything. I just got on and kept fighting him. And about 2 hours later, I had beat him. And it was probably top 10 feelings ever because this boss was hard as fuck. And I feel like if I could beat this boss, I can do anything. Again, no summons, no fucking nothing. The only thing I used was Miquella's Great Rune. So that was pretty good to get. I mean, the jump grab attack was like one of the only moves that was punishable, so you had to make sure you didn't get hit by that anyways, because that's one of your only forms of damage. That and the like spiral rock twirl thing you'll see here in a second, that was your other way to get damage. But basically, if you got hit twice by him, you were dead. Like, that's pretty much it. The good news was his first phase was actually pretty easy. The moves were very telegraphed, so you were able to get, through his first phase pretty quickly. It was just the second phase that fucked me up, bro. But he's definitely the number 1 hardest boss of the DLC. I would say he's actually the hardest boss in all of Souls, in my opinion. Fucking Orphan only took me like about hour and a half, really, and fucking this boss took me 5 whole hours. I was really, really happy when I beat it, and he definitely gets my number 1 spot. So here's my reaction to beating him.
Yes! Let's fucking go! Oh my fucking god, let's go!